So welcome back, folks. So here we have our old plot. It's roughly 3 acres, south to southwest facing, 60% flood zone and full of life. So if you want a full tour, click the top right of the screen and I go into great depths of what I did there and what I grew and la-di-da and stuff like that. Right, so let's talk zones again. So this is my zone 1 and it had my greenhouse. So obviously greenhouse, you have the delicates in and so on and stuff like that. But I like to consider Cedar's Mud Kitchen his zone 1 because he was always there making mud pies and water soup or something delicious. But I'm very proud of my greenhouse. It was very much a spur of the moment thing. I should have filmed it, but at the time I knew I was leaving to Scotland, so I was like, let's just get this done. But it was basically made out of my old catio. And if you're not sure what catio is, it's just basically an outsourced space, like an aviary for cats. And yeah, just full of pallets mainly as well. And I forgot to say is that the north facing side was filled with hay and covered in black plastic because I ran out of the seafood plastic, so I kind of improvised with the north facing wall. But it was great. It was an amazing insulator. It kept the place nice and warm and kept the heat in. Honestly, you notice a difference. It got so sweaty in there. Everything thrived. The main reason I consider this zone 1 is because I had a fair amount of delicate crops in the greenhouse. So my zone 2 and 3. If I was still gardening, I would consider my compost area to be zone 1 because basically I'm not gardening anymore, so I can tell my secrets. But I usually take my clients' rubbish to the land and process it there. So if the client's rubbish didn't end up in the compost bin, it were added to the creature hotels. So if you want to know about creature hotels and unintentional creature hotels, click the top right of the screen because I go deep when it comes to creature hotels, and they don't have to be stereotypical pallet-sized things with stuff with straw and stuff like that. So the main patch of the allotment has squash, comfrey booking 14, garlic, and honestly, I couldn't tell you how much stinging nettles I had around the place. Oh, and a speck of curly willow. Highly recommend planting curly willow. I cut this down within maybe a foot off the ground, less than that, and this is the growth from March till now. So an epic grower, just great at windbreaks, stick stuff in the ground. Again, plugging myself, but I've got a willow vlog. Click the top right of the screen to learn loads of things about willow. So zone 4. This was my dead hedge area / biochar and potash making patch. Again, another link, if you want to know how to make biochar, top right of the screen. I do enjoy a nice fire. CD enjoyed it too. So my zone 5, by far my favourite part, honestly my favourite zone in this plot. So much to take in. Dragonflies, bonking beetles, peacock butterflies, snakes, etc. During the early days of owning this place, we sheet mulched about 1.5 acres of this place. So lots of cardboard, lots of wood chip. But unfortunately, at the time, I thought it was like another downside. But the wood chip was caked in wildflower seeds. So it was annoying. It was annoying at the time. It was full of weed seeds or wildflower seeds. So it was just a pain in the bum. But we left it. Instead of fighting it for 2 years, after that we left it. And by God, the wildflowers came in and then life moved in. It was amazing. Best decision we've made. Nature came flooding in so much that I didn't have to. Honestly, I had no slug damage. I had no aphid problem. It was just like the perfect balance of biodiversity to the point when I did grow veg, it was just nothing affected it because there was a nice predator and prey balance. So this pic is like great at depicting of what our land was like, but if I'm honest opinion, it kind of pretty much the zones would kind of, if I was honest, it would be like this. I pretty much just let nature in, and if I'm honest, like it was very haphazardous. But again, I say that my pest problems were next to nothing. Well, the only problem I did have was field voles eating my strawberries, but I've learnt from that is to net them up or try and encourage more snakes. So this is for a comment I got from a subscriber called Mystique, and what I would start with is, first of all, don't rush. Do not rush. I rushed a hell of a lot in that old plot there. I rushed so many things and had to double handle, almost quadruple handle a lot of the things I did there, and it was just a pain in the bum. I just feel like, But take your time when it comes to planning your space. But like you said, chickens are ideal at making the compost good and making compost. Not just making compost good, making compost for your future space. Because, for example, where I am now, peat is very fertile, ridiculously fertile, but at the same time it's a sponge. It's just like a dense sponge, and not many things will take on it. So that's why I'm improving the soil with the chickens and with sheep mulching. So how can I put this? Yeah, first things first, just take your time. And like I said, I don't know where you are, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of say exactly what you need. But what I'm going to do is make sure I get the soil right, make sure I got a windbreak, and then after that, then I'll just start kind of implementing, not even just planting vegetables. I'm not going to go straight off and start planting vegetables because everyone says that slugs are rife here. So I think I'll implement a pond first, and then I'll start thinking about vegetables, because I know there's lots of frogs about, so then they should predate on the slugs and stuff, and figure out what other kind of predators they have here. Because I know ducks are a good thing, but I've only got 3 ducks and there's a lot of slugs, but these are big ducks, so we have to wait and see. But these ducks like nibbling on all leafy things, so I don't trust them yet. We're only little, so we'll have to wait and see. And hopefully that answers your question. But that's what I learned at the old plot, is that we were there for 6 or 7 years. 7 years we were there for, and I just learned that if you get a nice predator and prey balance, you're laughing, because we had owls there. When you have an owl on your property or around your area, then you know the biodiversity is good, because owls are indicator species, meaning that if there's owls there, the food chain is the tits. So that's what I felt like. I felt my proud moment from when I saw the owl there. I was like, nothing could beat me. So hopefully you learned something, guys, and that soil type is more important than zone guidelines, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously you want a bit of efficiency, but it's a weird one, because just don't be so regimented. Like, make sure you let nature in, because you will learn so much from Coco's here again. You just learn so much from it. I've learned so much in that space there, and I'm kind of sad that I'm not there anymore, because I know from next year, if I were to plant if I were to plant again, I'd have abundance of food. Like, we got how many squash? I can remember 60 plus squash in just a certain period of time. In 2 months, we got 60 plus squash from about 7 or 8 plants. So yeah, impressive. But that's enough bragging for me. But peace and hugs. Thank you for watching, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more fun. My next episode, I'll be talking about sheep mulching. But the first is a 2-part episode. So I'll be talking about how I gather up my freebies, because you shouldn't have to pay money for sheep mulching or building your soil. It's like there's so many freebies out there, yeah. So no matter where you are, so that will be the first one, and then the second part will be sheep mulching. So stay tuned for that. Sheep mulching, lasagna gardening, no dig, they're all the same thing. Back to Eden, la-di-da. So love you long time. Hopefully see you soon. And remember, it's not just my agenda, it's yours too.